everyone's lives are auditions. It's basically like trying to get a job. When you get a job, you're told when you get a job, or maybe if you graduate, then you can do what you want. You have the job, you have the diploma or the degree, do what you want. So they don't get married for love. They get married for the certificate itself. They just want to show people I have a last name. It's not.
Continue. But this what you're saying is not what you can say every woman does. There are people who actually get married.
Have you?
People, no, you can't dispute the fact that there are people who actually get married because
How
they
could
want
I have talked to 80 people and all of them have the same characteristics?
Now, I can say we mentioned 70% of women.
And you know the funny thing? Do you know the funny
and then
thing?
along the line, something happens
Hold on.
and that love
Do you know the funny thing?
If
it was 82, if I added the two of you, knowing the two of you, I would have gotten the same results.
First of all, I'm very faithful, but
Amal, just shut it for once.
I'm very.
I think the older
And
I
so
grow,
is she.
No, I think the older I grow, the more monogamy doesn't make any sense to me anymore.
Now, let's talk about monogamy. I'm still gonna go back to my church group. We had a discussion today, an open discussion among adults who are learned, scripture-wise, and we spoke about monogamy. There was a video I sent to you guys that I also sent to the church group, and the video talked about how everything has been whitewashed. I'm actually going to spend a lot of time speaking about whitewashing because this one man, one woman ideology is whitewashed upon Africans by white people. There's no African tribe that practices monogamy. I don't know any African tribe that is strictly monogamous.
There are no advantages of polygamy.
Now, you see, you could say that.
What are the advantages?
However, listen. However, many monogamous people are in polygamy.
Exactly. Do you understand? I'm going to agree with you.
It's just hypocritical.
Monogamy actually, you're saying that you're with one person, but in that relationship with one person, you have many other people by the
that's
side.
for them.
So
but
why don't you just let it be polygamy?
You can't say that there are no people in a relationship that only have one person. How many people do you really need in your life? How many?
Now listen, Amal. Most marriages are actually a WhatsApp group chat.
What's that? What is that?
Yes, it's a few people in those marriages. Now listen. Amal and I are married. Sorry, Naomi and I are married.
Yeah.
Amal is my side chick.
Yeah.
Brown is Naomi's side dude.
Yeah.
Be rest assured that everything I know, she knows, you know, he knows. So it's like a group chat. He's contributing information to me.
No, but if I was going to cheat, I'm not going to be cheating. If I was going to cheat on my husband, I'm not going to be telling my side dude anything about it.
No, you will.
No.
That's probably what's going to start the cheating.
That's why I always say I'd rather my man cheats on me with like 10 different girls than one person. Because one person, emotions are involved. You will tell that person.
You tell them. You see, you might not tell it directly.
I might not
but you see, you might just ask.
Phone calls.
Listen, you might just ask. Like for instance, imagine Naomi has money, she wants to buy a car, and I'm saying, no, Naomi, bring the money. Let's do a business together. So you would now run it by your side biggie and say, look, dude, I have this money. I've done a lot of businesses that failed in the past. I don't want to pump this money down that business. Even though a lot of people, you might not say my husband, you might say a lot of people are advising me to do a business, but I really want to buy the car. And the side dude pictures himself driving it once or twice a month, says, you know what, get the car. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, what you think is a monogamy is actually a WhatsApp group chat. So you think you're having a direct discussion with someone. It happened, I shouldn't say. It happened to me in one relationship a long time ago.
Okay.
You know, it was just a group chat. Basically.
But still, we can't dispute the fact that there are people who are happily married in a monogamous relationship or whatever.
Now, how
and
can
it's just
you
between
tell?
the both
Do
of
we
them.
have statistics?
There are people like that.
Now, let me give you statistics.
If it's just one. If it's
one, it's not people, it's one person. Now, let me give you statistics.
But if it's one, doesn't mean that it's
Hold
working.
on, let me mess with you guys. I'm going to give you statistics. You know, I'm a man of numbers. Now, type wherever you are the words that I will say to you in your Google. Paternity. Type that. Paternity. Fraud. Nigeria. Hang on. Paternity fraud, Nigeria. Okay?
We don't have to go there.
No. Nigeria, listen, paternity fraud. 30% of Nigerian men are fathering and children who are not theirs.
Yes, 30%
So
is
so
small.
It's exactly that's
no
a
no no
good
no no
thing.
no 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 no. 30% is the relationships outside that were productive.
Hey.
The ones that they did pull up. The ones that they wore rain.
Honestly, I think the only problem I have with monogamy
So
is
listen,
the fact
do you know that? Let me mess with you guys, yeah. If you engage in relations with your woman 100 times, she's not going to give you 100 babies.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. So for you to have 30% of actual cases, it means they were getting down at least 70%, if not 90. It's the numbers. I fear numbers. All right, we're going to go on a quick break, but before we go, let's see if we could take a couple of calls. 271-0969, 271-1969, 271-2969, and 271-3969. Our discussions today are going to be based around this. Is monogamy really a better idea than polygamy?
Because at the end of the day, it's not everybody that's going to get married. So if all the men practice monogamy,
Who will they
who
be
are we
with?
going to marry?
Yeah, you guys are going to really suffer. All right, we've got calls right here. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead real quick.
That is it. My name is Omoba Ademola Adetokunbo. Omobolande Abule Soweko 1.
Wow.
Boss.
So,
So tell us, what do you think, sir?
I think monogamy is better than polygamy.
Why?
Fine. Well, let me say we still believe in that as little than polygamous everywhere.
Yes.
What they are really saying is happening to people out there.
But you know, monogamy is actually polygamy in disguise.
Of course, definitely. You're saying the truth. You're saying sense. You're making sense. I swear to God who made me, you're making sense. I've been listening to a program. Although it's my first caller. It's my first calling, Gary.
Thank you so much for that call. You are absolutely amazing. God bless you, sir, and keep calling the cool station. We're taking a break, but still taking your phone calls. 271-0969, 271-1969, 271-2969, and 271-3969.
I think the two boys outside marriage. Don't say. But that's just the reason why guys, girls go outside to look for extra guys, extra women. Just so it's not about sex. So even why can't I just wait with just one? Can't be just one person.
Are you married?
You see, I'm going to speak to a lot of people today. Now, this is the ideal. You know what ideals are? For instance, you go to school, you do well, you should be successful in life.
Yeah.
You understand? That's the ideal. But is that the reality? Absolutely not. Now, many women, I love my girls, and this message is to the girls. You want to be in a relationship with a man who's never going to cheat on you. You have to first of all identify that men need more than one woman in their lives. No. It's by default. You've got to read the story of Jacob, where Leah came with her maid and gave her maid to Jacob after Rachel had given her maid to Jacob. So Jacob had Leah, had Rachel, and both their maids. You know, and Baba still had power. Do you know how they tested if David was about to die? They say he got no heat. They brought the fairest maiden in the entire Israel. And Baba could just know that's how they knew, Baba, kingdom has ended. So you guys need to understand. Now, I'm not saying come with your friend or your maid. I'm saying you've got to be your friend and your maid to your man.
But first of all,
you've got to know you've got to double up.
I feel like first of all, men don't even know what they want.
No, listen, you've got to double up. And the problem I have with the
men say they want good girls,
the
they
feminist
don't want them.
and equality ideology is hey, we're both equal.
No,
hey, we both
I
do
don't
the
like
dishes.
it when you say.
Hey.
I don't like it when you say the ladies have to double up. Listen, if you want
Men
to be,
also have to
Then,
double
yeah,
up.
okay, fine.
If you
Like,
want to be,
I'm gonna see, I have you, and I'm gonna see Amal in you. I'm gonna see Kayla in you. I'm gonna still see you in you, and I'm gonna see that girl that stands by the roadside in a miniskirt shouting.
So you want all that in one person?
In you.
in one
Okay, so
person.
fine. I better
It's the
see
same
the
way.
water in you.
Now,
I
hold
better,
on.
Yes.
I better see.
Why
what's
are
his
you
name,
arguing?
Ronaldo.
Why are you saying? You see,
better
how
see
hard is
Dangote.
it? How hard is it? Listen, how hard is it for you to be 3 women?
How
How
hard
did
is
it
it
for
for
you
the
to be
man
3
to be
men? Big
everything
Dangote,
too?
be Ronaldo, and
Let me ask
So-
you:
so-
is
so-
your father at home, Ronaldo? Is
So,
your father
okay,
at home, Dangote?
so is your mother also
at home, it's
5 people in one?
Absolutely. If you check out our women from where we're coming,
Yeah,
our
right.
mothers were
Yeah,
10
right.
times the women
Listen,
the
I
girls
feel
we
like
have now
my
are.
take on this is
if we're
a
going
man-
to go like that, then also the men before were better, because at least they used to cheat better. Then you'd find out about
Okay,
the side
so-
chicks at a funeral. Now you find out from a phone. At least from then, they were much more better when it came
Yeah,
to
so
cheating.
if you go into a
basically,
relationship-
the older part was my
If you
Now,
go into
when
a
I ask a
relationship
woman,
wanting to
you see,
cheat.
here's the thing, yeah. I'm gonna break your heart, but monogamy is whitewashing everything and Africa.
Whatever the
I
case
want-
is.
However, here's my take. I don't personally believe in polygamy,
Eh.
but I believe a woman should go out of her way to please her man.
The man
Why
should
do
do
you
the
always
same.
put
Why
the
do you
pressure
always
on
do-
the
that's-
women?
that's
Why
what
can't
I
a man also go
understand.
out of his way?
Why?
The man is also going to go out of his
How?
way to please his woman.
He's
I don't see men going out of their way.
Because
like
what
that.
your value
Don't say
system
that a man-
dictates as going out of his way
Oh,
is
God.
for him to go and bring a house that
I'm
none
sorry,
of your
no,
family
then-
members
no,
could
that
afford.
that
Can
is
I say
not true.
something?
That is not true. But if a man is going to go into a relationship with the ideology that, you know what, I can cheat anytime I want to, a woman should also be able to do that.
Exactly.
So if you're
So
going
why are
to
you
something?
married?
Exactly.
so
now
a
why
man
is the
can be
man
married
married?
and want to cheat?
No, what I'm saying is
If
the
we're all
man
cheating,
has
let's
to
all
stay
cheat,
in the
though.
marriage,
Let's all cheat.
but the
Nobody
woman
can.
has to be Diana Ross. She's got to be Beyonce.
Listen, the man has
She's
to
all-
be Will Smith. He has to
Hey,
be
thank
everything.
you,
He has to
Ronaldo,
be Dangote.
Dangote,
He has to
Bill
be.
Gates,
He has to have it all.
Why don't you just
Jay
stay
Z.
single?
You know?
Why can't
I
you
want-
stay
I want a
single? Or better
package.
still, we just keep it an open relationship.
Private
so everybody
jet,
can
the house.
do
Now,
Exactly.
why are you lobbying for an open relationship?
so that everybody can do what
Let's
they
be
want.
happy.
Because
Let's
the
all
truth
be
is,
mad here.
it's not easy to stay with somebody for the rest of
Now,
your life.
now,
Why do you
listen,
want to
now,
explore?
now, you know what the funny thing is?
Oh, please, there's a
We
lot.
talk about Bible and you guys and religion, and you guys are so quick to make defenses for tithing, that's in the Old Testament, for seeds and first fruit that are all in the Old Testament, for praying for your enemies to die. But polygamy, that was all over the Old Testament, you guys don't want to make an excuse for it, forgetting that Abraham gave gifts to his
That was the Old
concubines.
Testament.
I don't mind polygamy.
Where is die by
Honestly,
fire
I don't
from?
even mind
Where is
polygamy.
tithing?
I think polygamy is better than claiming monogamy. Then you still have side chicks.
Now here's
So
my
make it
advice to
open.
men.
You will not be
If you want to,
polygamous,
now
it's
here's
just
what I don't like. I marry Naomi now. I say, Naomi, I love you. We take those foolish vows that should be thrown into the pit of hell where they belong. And then when we're done, Naomi, I tell Naomi that I'm going to forsake all women for you. But deep down, I know that as soon as I'm getting out of the court, I'm going to text Amal, who is supposed to meet me up that day, and I'm going to tell her that unfortunately I can't meet up with you today because it's my wedding, but can I see you tomorrow? So it's not like there's ever a break. But
Because-
won't you like it when a man walks up to you and says, Naomi, I love you, I want to be married to you. However, I
married
like
to
having more than one woman. So there's this Amal that is happy being my concubine. You understand? Are you okay with Amal being my concubine? Then you now say, you think about it and say, okay, can I meet this Amal? You now meet the Amal. You now see that Amal is not as fine as you. It's not. It's just for your man to be relieving himself anytime he has these urges.
Yeah.
And you know,
So much.
Let
I
a
have
man
something
try
to say.
it. Let a man try it. Come to me and
Take
tell me
risk and
you
try
want to try.
me.
It means if you want to meet the creator, it's fine. It's fine. If you want to meet the creator, it's
now why
alright.
don't you women like honest people?
No,
You
be
are architects of your own
honestly
misfortune.
monogamous.
Because
be
you
honestly
guys, because
monogamous.
men
That's
cannot
not
actually
honesty.
handle what they dish out. So you want a woman, you want to tell a woman that you
No,
can
as
have
you told
many
me-
now
people,
listen,
but
listen.
you don't want a
Hold
woman
on.
to tell you, I
Hold
want to
on.
be with many men as well.
Hold on,
So
hold
also-
on. Now, here's the discussion. I want to be with more than one woman. Naomi wants to be with more than one man. So I tell her, Naomi said, oh, let's take different scenarios. we're both monogamous. Hi, Naomi, I take you as my wife. I don't want to have any other woman. You also say you don't want to have every other man. We work with that.
But we
fine.
you do. Okay.
No, and that's the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second scenario is I want more than one woman. And I tell Naomi, and I'm like, Naomi, I want to have more than one woman in my life. It's not just going to be you. You're not going to be the only woman in my life. Can you deal with that? And she says, yes, and we live happily ever after. Or she says, no, and we part ways.
Exactly.
Or she says, if you want this, I'm also going to ask for that. And if it is convenient for me, I agree to it.
Absolutely.
So I think the problem is
Why
in
is that
discussing.
scenario where you cheat with respect?
That's
Cheat
not
with
a scenario. You see,
respect?
listen, there's no such thing as cheat with respect.
I think we should just go for open marriages, open relationships.
It's still
Listen,
you go for it.
80% of marriages are already open marriages.
I
The women know their men are cheating.
But the men don't know.
No. The men, listen, if you have been cheating on your wife for 10 years, you should know that by now your wife will have slept with at least 3 people.
But the thing is, at least let's
Really?
not.
I don't
get
think
back to
men
you.
think that way.
No, listen, they will bully you into believing that they don't think.
Men don't believe that because you see a guy and then a guy that's cheating and very promiscuous, but the day you tell him that what if your wife is doing the same thing, he will swear on every god living and dead that his wife
Because
cannot
it's
do
an
it.
ego thing. He will know inside of him that she's doing it, but publicly he'll want you to know that he's a real man and his woman can't cheat on him.
The women keep
But
quiet
you
because
can
at least
cheat.
the man is providing.
mean,
the problem
I
is when
think
the
the
man
men
is not
should
The
just
providing.
woman
go-
and it's
keeps
also
quiet
cheating.
because the man is providing and cheats codedly with a gardener,
Exactly.
with a gate man, with one of the
Nah.
low
That
lives.
doesn't have to be. Maybe
Step it
with
up,
his
sis. You don't
boss.
have to do with driver or the gate
With
man.
his
No.
All right,
boss.
we've got calls coming through. Hello.
Hello, this is good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead. Tell us what you think.
You say they are open relationship. Most women know that their man are cheating on them and they are okay with it. But like Naomi and Amal said, they don't want to believe that their wife is cheating on them. But they kind of agree or have it in their mind that their wife too can be cheating, but they will not want to admit it back against them.
Thanks for that. We've got another caller. Hello.
Man, this conversation is so hilarious. I've laughed. Please, you want to kill somebody? Hey, don't even drink this night.
It's Pepsi. Oh, they should come and endorse my show.
There is some sense of reality in what Chris is saying. You see, if a man is like Jeff Bezos, we are out of my way to do whatever, as long as the coins don't roll.
The
And
jet
then
is
to start
flying.
this, you have no idea what's going on, please.
I have what?
No,
You don't know what's going on.
What's going on? Tell me.
I'm doing. So, what is good for the good?
It's good for the
ganja.
ganja.
That's good.
See, tables are turned. Seriously. So the men need to be weary of that. Tables are turned. What is going on in Nigeria right now?
Yes, sis.
Sitting like this,
Preach it, sis.
Preach it, sis. You go, sis.
bam. So you're so oblivious to what is going on. So please, go and do
Yeah.
your research very well. Tables are turned though.
Ah.
2020
We
is a
cuckoo
year of
know.
feminism.
We cuckoo know.
Yes. They should
All right,
handle
more
what
calls.
they dish out.
Hello. How are you guys doing? We're taking calls now. 2710969, 2711969, 2712969, and 2713969. Monogamy, polygamy, open marriages. We're talking about everything, and we're being honest right now. Tell us the truth. We've got a call right here. Hello. How are you doing? What is your name?
This is Remy.
All right, Remy, go ahead.
Yeah. I think a lot of men are very are aware that their wives are cheating on them. But there's this culture that men don't talk. So just for example, there is research evidence that maternity fraud, the rate was very high. Most first child does not belong to the
Men are aware, but they don't talk. We're young, we're wild, we're cool. After Dark with Daddy Freeze and the Lobsters. A quick break and we're back at you. But we're still taking your phone calls, so do call us now. After Dark with Daddy Freeze and the Lobsters. We're having lobsters for dinner tonight. And it is absolutely amazing. We're having so much fun. We're talking about polygamy and monogamy and I'm looking for the word, the unrealistic whitewash of Africa with the Western monogamous ideology.
I think that was the best whitewash thing.
Now, let me tell you something,
because
guys. You see, because you're women. Now, let me tell you something here. All African traditional religions recognize polygamy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
All Middle Eastern religions, all monotheist, Abrahamic religions recognize monogamy. Judaism, Islam, Christianity.
Polygamy.
Sorry, polygamy.
Polygamy, yeah.
Where is monogamy coming from?
Well, whatever.
It's the whitewashing of Africa.
Wherever it came
by
from,
our.
it makes sense at the end.
It doesn't, because at the end of the day, it is replaced now with another whitewashed ideology called man and man, woman and woman.
I think the idea behind polygamy was
man and man, woman and woman is frowned at by all traditional African religions.
How?
Judaism,
how does that come
Islam,
in?
and Christianity. It means that this is what I'm saying is we've whitewashed ourselves with an ideology that is unscriptural, and we're replacing it with an ideology that is unscriptural. Maybe I'm the one getting it twisted. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Polygamy is scriptural across religions, across African traditions. Igbo people have more than one wife. Yoruba people, Hausa people, let's leave religion. Now, the religions we claim to practice recognize polygamy. Islam clearly recognizes polygamy. Judaism clearly recognizes polygamy. Christianity is a bit higgy-haga. Christ advises that a man leaves his parents and stays with one woman and the two become one, but doesn't put a punishment on it in case the man decides to have more than one wife. And the only place in the Bible where a man is not allowed to have more than one wife is if he wants to be an officer or he wants to hold a post in the quote church. And unquote the church as a deacon or what have you, or an overseer. Now we've replaced polygamy that we all understand with Adam and Steve, Ada and Eve.
Okay. I think the thing with polygamy.
And now listen, Adam and Steve is frowned at across Igbo land is an abomination. Yoruba land, Ewoni, Hausa land, I don't know, but I'm sure it's not something parents encourage their kids to get into. And all the three religions I spoke about, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism clearly all frown against it. But hey, it's the whitewashing of Africa again with another ideology from the West.
Yeah, but that
I think it's two things. First of all, I think it's us picking and choosing. We have a culture of picking and choosing what we want to believe in.
We're great cherry picks.
Yes.
Especially
Then there's also, I think that idea behind polygamy then was, if you have enough, even like Islam, it says if you have enough money to take care of more than one woman, then you do it. But again, now in my term, you can't be broke and trying to be polygamous. You can't you can't get someone's daughter and put her in poverty.
Makes sense, because how many?
Let me tell you the sweetest one that we read
on. How many partners do you really want to have?
Let me tell you the sweetest one we read on the Insta blog yesterday. Apparently, the guy's parents said, they were even Muslims. They said that she shouldn't marry another Muslim because they're from another.
Yes.
But they should marry only from their Muslim sect. And eventually, the girl married someone from her Muslim sect and ended up being the breadwinner of the family. They stay in a one-bedroom. She's the one paying the bills. Then one day, man that they are feeding wakes up and decides to become polygamous inside where they are feeding him.
You can't be.
So he comes home with a second wife in the one bedroom where they're squatting. And then the first wife is now supposed to pay the bill. Then the family was announcing that they were going to carry their daughter.
You can't be, honestly speaking, I'm sorry if it's going to offend people, you can't be broken and unfaithful.
No,
you can't be broken and unfaithful. It's one, pick one.
Unfaithfulness is something you earn with money, right?
Exactly. You must speak the language of no, but like, you honestly think about it. If you men are the providers, yeah, let's leave this feminism thing that side. Now, men are providers. You cannot be broke. you're struggling, or your woman is paying bills, or you're struggling to find ways to feed.
Now, let
and
me
then
ask
you're
you a
trying to
There are
bring
some
in.
women that don't care
Let me
about
ask
the
you a
money.
question.
They just want
Imagine,
a partner. I mean, who
imagine
can give them-
Dangote's son, who's good looking,
Yeah.
comes to you and says he wants to marry you. He's hardworking. His father probably puts him on $20 million a year as his salary, his bonus. Then maybe every month he gets 10 million to go to spa and shop and all those things. But at the end of every year, they give him 20 million bulk money so he can buy his Ferrari, his watches, buy you your stuff.
Yeah.
And then after 1 year, his parents say, you know what? He must marry a girl from their village because there's somebody who wants to do business with Dangote and decides to give Dangote his daughter as a gift.
Yeah.
And now Dangote can't refuse the daughter, but he's too old to have the daughter, and he decides to pass the daughter to his young son, which happens to be your husband. Now tell me, what would you do?
I feel like as women, we need to stick together. I feel like we need to stick together as women. So I'd bring the woman in, and maybe there are a few tips I need to give her. Maybe how to spend the money. How to fly the jet, where to sit.
What is women supporting
training.
women all about?
It's about
Because at the end of the day, not everybody will get
the thing
married.
is polygamy.
Sometimes you should be willing to
Baseline. If you have
share,
money, if you have
because,
money, if you can take care of them
but
equally.
seriously, sometimes you should be
What-
willing
what-
to
what
share.
that
Now
means-
I want to
Share
read.
your
I want to read
happiness,
some
share your
Bible
love.
to you. This is a part of the Bible that I personally like. It's Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, and you could get this from Genesis 30 and 4. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and he slept with her. This is Jacob, Rachel handing over to Jacob. If you read 3, it says, then Rachel told him, take my maid and sleep with her. She will bear children for me. And if you go a little further, at 9, meanwhile, this is the other wife now, Leah, realizing that she wasn't getting pregnant anymore. So she took her servant Zippah and gave her to Jacob again. So Jacob was just there on the receiving end all the time. And if you understand what's happening. So not only did he have 2 wives who were both sisters, he also got their maids as bonuses. But all of a sudden, this now seems wrong to us because
Jacob had money.
I just don't like
Well,
it.
yeah, he had some money.
Yeah, he had got.
But why are we always using the scripture to talk about a modern day relationship? Like, it's just like what you said. You can't use the American system to judge a case in Nigeria.
But don't you use the scripture in your everyday life?
Now listen, what is ideal now? We need to abandon our listen.
What is
every
ideal
single
now?
person I spoke to, another thing I need to show you, out of the 80 people I spoke to, all of them had relationships before marriage. As in, they all engaged in relationships before marriage.
Yeah.
So that's another illusion that we need to abandon. We need to start talking to ourselves honestly. How many people actually keep themselves before marriage?
Yeah.
Is that still?
Is that what we're talking about?
Let's be honest. Let's take 5 straight calls.
No, but why wouldn't
Listen,
you have a relationship
let's
before
take
marriage?
5. I don't mean relationship. I mean actually
Relation.
explore
Okay.
relations. You understand? Let's take 5 straight calls. Please be honest. Did you keep it up until when you got married?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even bother asking a man.
We're keeping
That is why.
What are you people keeping?
We're
Your
keeping
sunglasses?
We're keeping it. We're keeping it.
It's a new
Keep it up with the
All right,
Kardashians.
we've got a call right here, and I'm going to ask. Hello, good evening. 2710969, 2711969, 2712969, and 2713969. If you honestly kept it,
It's a new.
call us.
It's a new.
If you are keeping it, call us. If you've not kept it for the last 20 years, even though you're just 28. Hello? Yeah. We've got a caller right here. Tell us, are you keeping?
Have you doing accounting?
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you,
one
dear.
down. Yeah, hello?
Are you a goalkeeper that you be keeping relationship?
It's like,
Let's be realistic. You only get the experience from marriage. Don't jump into it like that.
all right, two down. Hello? Well, I think that one was keeping. I just realized that before they go and call me goalkeeper, account keeper, record keeper. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening. Please, even in my next life, I'm not keep anything. What if I die?
What if I die?
What if I die? Wow. With 20 churches on every street, nobody wants to still keep. Yeah, hello. We've got a caller right here.
Good evening. I want to ask a question.
All right, go ahead.
You don't support tithing because it's Old Testament, but you're supporting Jacob and the rest because it favors you. And who said that the idea was good? If Jacob had those relationships, did the Bible say that it was good?
Now, hold on. You see, I like people like you. You wait now. You are just doing. Can you wait? Let me read you a scripture where God said it was good. I want to read you one that is. Oh yeah. Finish.
You want to just argue something that you want to argue, you pick it from the verse of the Bible that you want to argue from. So if this thing was just a discussion, why bring in the Bible, telling the Old Testament that condemning, telling people not to pay tithe? So skip it completely. And the person that said we should do one man, one wife is Christ. Why are you not even mentioning it? Besides, why did God not create two women to other? What are you even saying, please?
Okay, now listen to this. I'm going to read something to you. 2 Samuel chapter 12 and 8. God speaking to Samuel. I gave you your master's house and his wives and the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. And if that had not been enough, I would have given you much, much more. Why is there silence all of a sudden? Now, I do not support polygamy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. She just jumped like many people just jump. I don't support it. But I'm trying for us to have a realistic approach, because the idealistic, subjective approach that we have is not tallying with our reality.
True.
So that is what I want us to talk about. What I'm saying is, just in case anybody's getting me wrong, I am saying polygamy is not alien to Africans. It is not alien to the Abrahamic religions.
That is true.
Where are we getting polygamy as a bad thing from? It's from the whitewashing of the Western world. Now, let me tell you, there are advantages of monogamy. It's harder to spread HIV/AIDS in a mutually exclusive monogamous relationship. It's also 30% of Nigerian children, according to that report, as a result of paternity fraud. It's also going to help in that regard. However, if we do not address this from a realistic point of view, we're going to continue fooling ourselves that we're monogamous. Meanwhile, the average Nigerian marriage, is a WhatsApp group chat between many partners, a lot of whom are related sexually. More calls here. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm not sure the last lady was attentive enough to know that you were not in support of polygamy. Because if you had to ask her, I think she concluded that you were using the Bible to suit the narrative, which wasn't the case. From what I've learned this night, you were against polygamy, but you are trying to be realistic with our daily reality. That naturally, men don't want to do with just a woman.
That's what we just
People
said.
don't want to keep themselves up before marriage. These are reality on ground.
Thank you very much. And if you remember from the beginning, what I said was, I said a woman should actually behave like three women, just so that, and a man too should know that his responsibility to his three girlfriends has to be to his only one wife, because his one wife is now going to be acting in the capacity of three people, and we have phone calls ringing like they've never rang before in the history of this show.
No,
so let's just take one. Hello? All right, yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir, please go ahead. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Femi, and I'm a first-time caller.
Ooh, Felmi, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so I've been listening for a while now, and I just want to drop my 2 cents. So I think that you kept on talking about how polygamy was practiced back in the times of the Israelites.
And in the times of the Igbos and the Hausas and the Yorubas and the Benin kingdoms and
And even till now.
Tutsis and Tutsis.
Calabria.
Yeah. And where what's that your tribe again, Amal?
And even till now.
Manankoles and yeah. So go ahead.
So I quickly want to address that because you read scriptures on that. I think I would love if you could read Matthew 19:4-9 when I hang up, probably.
I know what it is. I know the entire Matthew 19 is when Christ was speaking about divorce, and he said initially it was intended for there to be one man, one woman, but Moses gave concession because people's hearts were wicked. Is that not what is there?
That's lovely. So since you know that, so I think there's a reason behind God allowing the Israelites have more than one wife, apart from their hard-heartedness. You would agree with me, they needed to procreate at a faster rate back then because people were like scanty and God needed them.
What about the Yorubas and the Igbos and the Hausas? Let's bring this home.
I'm going to go to that. So when we talk about ideal and reality and all, I totally agree with you that the reality is that a lot of people are cheating on their spouses. A lot of people would rather want to have more than one wife. That is reality, and that is what people tend to want to do. But there are other things people tend to want to do. So, for example, people tend to want to be violent. Does that mean that is what is right or ideal? People tend to have more than one house, more than one car. But is that what is right? Is that what is ideal? So there are a lot of things that humans tend to want to do, but that does not mean that is right or that is what is ideal. Because we have a longing to want to do these things does not mean it's right. So certain people who want to respond to a certain situation violently does not mean it's right.
Okay.
The fact that I have a longing to have more than one woman does not necessarily mean it is the right thing to do.
Now, I love the fact that you're a thinking man, and I love the fact that you're also grounded at least with a bit of scripture and our traditional African history. Now, I want to ask you a question. In a situation like the current situation of 2020, where we find ourselves, where we make these oaths, these vows, but never keep them, or 90% of the time don't keep them. If statistics show that 30% of Nigerian children are being given to the wrong fathers by their mothers in cases of paternity fraud, I don't think we can run away or be under any illusion that that's not our reality. So my problem is, how do we tackle this reality? And since I see that you're a thinking man, I hand that over to you. I want you to give a suggestion.
I really like the question because where I work currently, there's a friend of mine who told me that it's on his dad's burial day he found out that he had siblings he had never met. So this is the current reality. He even said that my own father could have siblings I've never met, and I should not be surprised if that were to happen, which is absolutely true. I can't control that. It could happen. But so far as I know, I know all my siblings. To be honest, I know all my siblings. But I think it's a decision. So, for example, in a business contract, you sign an agreement saying that you would honor all the tenets of this contract. So you go into a contract with a woman, and then you are swearing that you would honor all and abide by all the rules of that contract.
I love you. Listen, I see you take a personal decision. What if she doesn't honor the contract?
Yeah, it is possible. Yeah, it is very possible.
It's not possible. It's very likely, according to statistics. So it's likely. It's likely, according to statistics, that she doesn't honor, according to statistics.
True, it is likely. But then there are also many who have honored their contract so far.
So why should
statistics do not show that? They tell us that, they hide that. But when, you know what, 30% of children being out of paternal fraud, do you know how high that number is? Do you know what it takes to get 30%, 30 out of 100 children? That it doesn't mean those people slept with each other 30 times. It means it's something going on, but these ones were productive.
Sure. So I totally agree with you. And I totally agree that this is a current reality. I'm saying that I think the message should be to encourage men to honor the contract and women to honor the contract they enter into, or do not enter into the contract
at all.
Now, this gentleman made a lot of sense. Advise men to honor the contract, advise women to honor the contract, or do not enter the contract at all. But that also leaves us with a window of those who want to be in a relationship but are ready to accept other people. Those people who feel like, well, it's okay if Naomi and I are married and Amal wants to join the party.
It's not called being desperate. If you're so desperate, because human nature, humans are very territorial.
We need to speak for a minority, or should I say a majority of the population. I'm speaking about the side chicks now. They are there.
True.
You can't do away with them. You can only do away with them in your mind.
Yeah.
You can only believe that your husband's not going to have us. I don't have side chicks because I'm a preacher.
Yeah.
And
so if you were not a preacher.
If I were not a preacher, I'll probably have. If I wasn't working for God, I'll probably have.
But that's what he just said. This thing is a decision. So you have to, when you're entering it, you have to enter with the mindset that
I know many people who 10 years ago I used to look down upon because they weren't married and they were old. And it was the general talk that, why never marry? I don't know if you understand. I've long since abandoned that mentality, but it does not take that mentality away. We're going to go on a quick break, right? And then come back, but we're still taking your phone calls, 2710-1112 and 13969.
Relax and listen to 96.9 Cool FM.
Who tell you, say Dangote and I didn't no get two heads? Tenny, who tell you?
They don't.
They have 5 heads.
They're just like every other man out
Don't
there.
ever gawk yourself and fool yourself into believing that illusion. They're special. It's like saying Michael Jackson does not have 2 heads. Can you sing like Michael Jackson? Can you sing his range?
So meaning.
I don't mean the Ugandan version. It's not Kampala. All right, we're still talking about polygamy and the reality of today. You see, we preach a very subjective word. Meanwhile, we live in a very realistic world. Most people that I know did not get married pure. We know, let's not lie to ourselves. Even you that you are forming pure, you know inside your heart. And we're also very hypocritical. I know people who would have done every other thing except the main thing and then still believe
that they were pure.
That they're pure. You know that kind. There's another.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole lot of stuff. And we need to embrace our reality. If really we want to be monogamous, what can we do to ensure this monogamy is genuine? Because the monogamy of today is worse than the polygamy of yesterday.
Exactly.
I must be entirely honest with you guys.
True.
So if we must, because the polygamy of yesterday was an open polygamy,
and everybody knew. So like the woman, the parties involved knew that, okay, we are all involved in this.
I remember when we're burying my grandfather in 1986. My grandmother and one of her co-wives stayed in my house. They did the mourning period in my house.
Wow.
They were both co-wives. And my father respected the 2 of them because they were both his mothers, even though one was biological, the other was his father's other wife.
Yeah. So if you're going to be in monogamy and you're not bold enough to let everybody know the other extras that you have, then you shouldn't even call it monogamy.
Personally, I feel like as I get married, we'll do a traditional oath. You cheat, you die. You cheat.
Now, what makes you different from the pagans? If if you need an oath to die to keep your man with you, then honestly, I think there's a problem.
Yeah, I don't think
no, because clearly
if you're deciding
clearly we're saying that men are made to cheat, kind of like it's their nature, yeah. So how else do you want?
That is
how
just
trying to
trash.
prevent
If
them?
you're deciding to spend the rest of your life with somebody, it's like it's a decision. Just the same way they say love is a decision. So you're going to make that mental decision. You're going to be conscious about it. I want to be with this person.
The ones
I don't
that
have
got
to do
married, you think
anything
they
with other
didn't make
people.
mental
And
decisions?
yes, to
All
be
right,
fair,
guys, you know
there are
what? Let's
people who
take
are
phone
doing
calls.
this.
You know the numbers: 271011112 and 13969. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to share this. My name is Toby, and yeah, I've fallen out of love with you. What would you do? Now, in a situation like that, you can only pray that you find somebody who is ready to be with you for a lifetime. And if the person isn't ready, it's not a do or die affair. You wouldn't kill yourself because someone says, Yoshimo, I'm no longer interested. Because you can get killed as a husband, you can get killed as a wife. Now, in the context of the side chicks, they are always there. You can. I have brothers who are married, and there are people, there are young ladies who are my friends, who are even telling me, open up your brother. I'm like, me, I'm not a human being. They're like, no, married people, they won't marry people. I'm like, they're just a destroyer of homes. It seems to be a trend. Every young girl wants to do this. Every young girl wants to trip to Dubai. Every young girl wants this. Now, I understand the economic situation of the country and not favoring a lot of people. But even at that, there's something called contentment. There's something called discipline. There's something called home training. And also, this affects married people. Because some people would say, my husband cannot take me to the Bahamas. My friends are going to the Bahamas. Oh, there's this big guy somewhere. He'll give me money for this. And that's that. So I always tell people, marriage is an institution, like some people say. You either learn, you improve yourself, and sometimes you might just drop out. So don't base certain things on romance, on time, money, and energy, because those things can fade.
Thank you very much for that call. Let's take another one now. Hello. Good evening. How are you doing?
Hello, Daddy Praise. Good evening, sir.
Yes, your very last caller. Please go ahead.
Well, Daddy Praise, I like the fact that you're very, very honest. Like, everything you say is true. You get. And a lot of Christian guys and girls will call in and say, monogamy is the best bullshit. Trust me, then we're all going to hell. We are all going to hell. You get. Because every guy that has money cannot come to me and tell me that he doesn't have girlfriends outside he's married. Except, of course, he's a preacher, or probably he's this kind of a, probably would not, a kind of guy that probably would not have gotten married in the first place. I did not pay for the fact that he had to procreate or something. But the truth is, they will always find a way of, backing up their claims with Matthew 19. Now, I don't want to get controversial tonight, because most people will come at me and say, what is it saying? But the truth remains absolute, that polygamy as in polygamy is even better than what we have now. Because, a rich man loves a girl, but because he's married, he's unable to marry her, and it makes her into a concubine. She gets pregnant, and all of a sudden he's telling her to go abort it because, like seriously.
Wow. Why are you so angry?
Anger, temper. Wow. All right, I really wish we could end the show on this note, but there's so many callers, and I think we have 4 minutes. Hello? Yes, go ahead.
People, my own contribution to this issue that people are saying is people are not following the Bible according from what you are saying, but according to the Bible, God created the man and the woman to just two people. But this is that people are going to other sides. Is it the Bible say also from Timothy? The Bible says from Timothy that the time will come that people generation will diverse from the truth because the truth is bitter and it's true. That is why it's not truly marriage is honorable in the sight of God, and the bride remains undefiled. That is one side.
I appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense. But you see, you're still submitting to the subjective. You're still submitting to the subjective. We're trying to deal right now with the objective. What's really idealistic? Hello? Yes, good evening. Go ahead.
topic of that promotion premium on monogamy.
Oh, you have to turn down the radio.
Unfortunately, that call's not loud enough, so this is going to be our final call. Hello? Yeah, so go ahead.
Why can't we face truth for one? Let's call them natural truth. Why do we have to talk about what other people have said, how it's meant to be, yet the reality is different, and yet we're still arguing that our natural bodies have feelings even outside the agreements that we have made? I would even accept if people said, okay, it's good to marry one wife, but this is what happens along the way. You know, as parents, there are many things you don't tell your children until they have grown old. So, there are many truths that our fathers and mothers who stayed together for 50, 60 years in marriage did not tell us. And they will never tell you because you will grow into it and face those facts yourself. I used to argue with my dad when all his friends were polygamous and he was the only monogamous one, until I found out that I too was polygamous in nature. Are you getting?
Wow.
And that was the polygamy of those days, that you introduce your whichever numbers they are to the public. Now you have neo-polygamy. So for every place you travel to, there's a family, children, they all go to school, another set of family. We have to face these facts. Nigeria is the only country that struggles with this thing. No other country has this issue. We're the only ones that find it a surprise that you like the person beside you, and after a few months, we have to start telling ourselves the truth. Then maybe when we can face the truth, we can come to an agreement as to how we want to live as human beings. But on this topic, if you want to continue discussing or denying what is the blinking truth, that your 30% is more like 60%, so please, they didn't tell you the truth. If they should tell you the truth, Naomi, stop talking. Ugandan darling, please open up and say the truth.
Thank you so much.
You know what I don't like?
Final thoughts.
One thing I want to say, I don't like the fact that, like what he said he's polygamous in nature. I don't like the fact that we're treating polygamy like it's a disease. You get?
Yeah.
Like it's like you're born polygamous. You're not born polygamous. You decide to be polygamous. I don't think
I think Islam explains it better. Islam says when there's a man who one woman is not enough for, according to my little understanding of Islam, it makes allowance for men. And there was a time in my life, I need to be honest with you, one woman was not enough for me.
I don't know, but I don't like to talk about these things using the
I would
scriptures
struggle
in this day and time because everything has evolved.
Nigeria is religious. We're not in China where 90% of the population.
Yeah, but it's not everything that we base on what the scripture says.
So what do we base our lives on if we have 5 churches on every street?
I'm just saying, if you're going to go,
what else are we going to base our lives on?
Is
Shango? Okay, you know what? Let's read the scriptures and face our traditional African philosophies.
I don't know about that.
My own take on this whole polygamy and monogamy thing.
As an Igbo girl, is polygamy unheard of?
No, of course it's not unheard of.
As a Ugandan girl, is polygamy unheard of?
It's advised.
All right, guys, that's as far as we can go. My advice still remains the same. And I pick my ideology, of course, from the scriptures. Galatians 2. There's neither Jew nor Gentile, neither male nor female. And here's what I say. If a man can be polygamous, he should expect his woman too to be polygamous.
Exactly.
So a man must strive to be polygamous. I use the word to be monogamous, I beg your pardon.
Okay.
I use the word strive because it doesn't come naturally. It is something that would require effort from both the man and the woman.
Absolutely.
It is not unattainable because I've been in a relationship where I'm not cheating. Naomi can go through my phone and I have no girlfriend. And I literally work with 2 very beautiful women. And this studio is filled with women from time to time. Remember when we had all the other plenty women and the ones that come around looking like they want something off the radio, whereas is another thing they want. Yeah, we know all those. But at the end of the day, I can boast and say I'm a man who is faithful.
Sure.
Was I always faithful? No.
Okay.
Was I born faithful? Absolutely not. It requires a lot of commitment that I'm not sure many Nigerian men are ready to submit to, and I'm not sure many Nigerian women are ready to shackle their shoes and support their men with what is required from the females to make sure their men stay at home. And now, since the women have also been exposed to eating forbidden fruit, I don't even know what to say about
they
that.
learn from the best. I mean, that's what it is. If you're going to be doing something in a
We learn
monogamous
from the best. You mean
relationship,
Eve or?
from the guys.
At this juncture, I say goodbye and good night. It was fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, and if you're
let me
going
hit you up.
to be in a monogamous relationship, just know that you don't have. It's not right for you to be having side chicks and side
And if
guys.
you want to be polygamous,
yes,
please
but
have
if you
mine.
want to be, or you can just opt for an open relationship.
If
where
you
do
want to be
whatever you want.
polygamous and you want to include Amal in your
No,
polygamy,
Daddy, please, no, Daddy,
make sure your
I'll
bank
find
account is
out.
thick. Goodbye and see you tomorrow, guys.